on one of these stations. Could be WIDU 1600 AM here in Fayetteville, or the all-new 99.7 FM here in Fayetteville. WYDU 1160 AM in Red Springs, North Carolina. WAGR 1340 AM in Lumberton, North Carolina. WEWO 1460 AM Laurinburg, North Carolina. The We Do Radio Network. Call-in number is 910-483-6111 if Tammy will have the phones on for us today. And you can call in and tell us what's on your mind as well. And let us know if some things going on if we don't know what it is when we come to you. And also you can listen to us on WIDU1600.com. And we're live streaming on The Mrs. T on Facebook. That's TheMrstee on Facebook, live streaming. And I'm Wade Fowler. I'm one of your hosts, and I'm one of the owners of Fowler's Southern Gourmet Barbecue Restaurant at 723 West Rowan Street. Love to have you come by and eat with us. And I've got with me my partner on the radio. She always laughs at my dad jokes. Tiffany Haywood, known also as one of the top bloggers in North Carolina, The Mrs. T.
Hello, lovies. How are you guys doing? I'm so happy to be here today, and I'm ready for Wade's dad jokes.
And no, I've got to let you know, we're brought to you by
our lovely sponsors.
Our friends over at Holmes Security Systems in downtown Fayetteville, are hometown security experts. We thank them for helping us out and continue to support this program. And let them know you heard about it right here on WIDU with what's going on. Okay, Tiffany, so what's going on? After all of this stuff we had
for New Year's, yes, it seems like people kind of like are in relax mode now, because I did my searches for events and I really didn't find a lot, but I do have other resources for you to go to in case I just missed them. And also, if you guys know of any events that are happening that you know somebody needs to be at or that needs extra support, please call in 910-483-6111 and let us know. So the first event that I have is, well, actually, I'm going to save that one because that's what our guest is here to talk with us about. But there is an event coming up on January 9th, and this one I plan on attending, hopefully, if everybody's schedules sync out so that I can ditch my kids for a little while. It is the Personality Type Social Night, and it's happening at Winter Bloom Tea at their new location, 238 Hay Street. And you basically get to do the Myers-Briggs, I think it is, personality test.
Okay.
And we're going to get to sit and chat and, of course, have tea and talk about what your personality is. They have the link in the event, which is on Facebook under Winter Bloom Tea, and you can go ahead and take that test. I took it, and I am an advocate. And my personality type is INFJ-T. And apparently that means that I'm introverted, which I already know. Mm-hmm. Nobody really believes it when I say it, but I honestly am.
Same for me.
See,
I've noticed it every day on the radio.
Sure, you have, Wade. Sure. I'm intuitive. I'm feeling. I'm judging. That one kind of threw me off because I didn't think so. And turbulent. So I really have to listen to what they say that means, because this is my first time taking the test and I don't completely get the whole, I tried to do the research and read each part, but those two throw me off. The intuitive, introverted, and feeling part I totally get. Yeah. But the judging and the turbulent part. No. I mean, I know. Yeah, no, I kind of get the judging part. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, me and you. Okay, I get that part. And then it says that my role is a diplomat and my strategy is constant improvement. So I see those things syncing out. So if you want to find out what your personality is, your personality type is, and if you want to learn a bit more about what it is and maybe have input like Sherris just gave me, go to Winter Bloom on January 9th, and it's from 6 to 9 p.m. And again, it's going to be tons of fun, I think. There's no admission. You just buy tea and have fun.
I was waiting for her to do that because I didn't want to be the one to get
tell me I was judgy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Wade. I don't know. I can see it. I think I heard the word judge and got a negative feeling from it, but I can see it. I do tend to judge a little bit. But, I mean, it's not always in a bad way.
Now, listen, people make judgments all the time. Mm-hmm. I've often been told I'm judgmental, and I said, thank you for making that judgment about me.
Yeah, so I guess I'm going to get to learn a little bit more about that. But the other thing that I want, wait. If you guys want to know more events that are happening, things that kind of recur on a weekly basis, be sure to visit FayettevilleNC.com and check out their calendar events, because they have everything that's happening over and over again on a weekend. There's holiday exhibits at the Cape Fear Studios. There's the City Market. There's the train Come see the trains that fascinate you. So check that out if you want recurring events.
Hey, for Fourth Friday, there's going to be an ice rink out in
Yes,
front.
I am so stoked about that. That's going to be
That's
awesome.
for the weekend.
That's going to be, that is it January 25th?
20, I think it's 25th, 26th, 27th. I think
Yes.
whatever the Friday, Saturday,
It starts
Sunday
Fourth Friday and runs Saturday and Sunday, and it's going to be held on Green Street, and it's going to be like right on that strip near in front of Fascinate You, right?
Right, in between Fascinate You and the Metropolitan Room.
Yes, and they're going to have, it's artificial, it's not actually ice, but it's like artificial skating ring, but you can skate with normal skates and everything. They're also going to have rentals available for $7 a piece. What was that?
I don't know.
$7 a piece.
That was that judgmental sound.
Possibly. I don't know. It just came out. It was weird.
Could be a piece.
Okay, so they're doing that. That's gonna be super fun. I think that would be perfect for like kids, full families.
Yeah, definitely families.
Definitely, and you get three nights to choose from. I think it starts like 6. One of the days, I'll pull up the exact time. Yeah, I think it's 6 to 10 on one night, and then the rest of it is a little bit earlier. But you can find out all the details at Cool Spring Downtown District on Facebook, and also probably on the Fourth Friday page. I'm not positive because I think I saw it on the Cool Spring page. But that's definitely going to be something you want to do this Fourth Friday. Yeah.
Well, I will tell you something that is still going on that we've talked about, and Kim and I went to see it. It's not in it's not in Fayetteville.
I know what you're talking about.
But it's the Chinese Lantern Festival at the Cocoa Booth Amphitheater in Cary. It is not a super huge display, but it is magnificent.
It looked really pretty. I saw your pictures.
They have acts on stage, basically kind of like Chinese acrobat stuff. They got the ladies that can spin 3 plates at one time on their little sticks.
Oh, see, I didn't know it was like acts too. I thought it was just night.
And then they've got these they have a show that they call Strength, and these guys are holding each other out. And I mean, I don't know how these guys do. You talk about strong core muscles. Yeah. These guys are amazing. It just really kind of really neat shows. It's going through till the 13th.
Oh, the 13th.
Through the 13th at the amphitheater up there. The colors of the lighting and stuff are amazing. They got a gigantic dragon. They've got just all kinds of neat stuff to see, and they've got little signs with each one of them that kind of explain
what they mean,
what it is about it, what the significance of it is in the Chinese culture and stuff. And so it's a really great thing.
I did see your pictures. I was so proud of Wade for taking pictures, and I was like, "Yay, Wade! He's taking
I posted
pictures.
it on Instagram.
I
again.
know.
Yeah.
Yes, like we're coaxing him.
We're
on
moving on
Instagram.
up. Huh?
Yeah, so like I saw it, I was like, "Oh yay! He posted a picture." But just for the details, it's called Cool Spring on Ice. And January 25th, it starts at 12 noon. The 26th, it says 8 a.m. And then on the 25th, it starts at 12 p.m. So if you guys want to have a little bit of winter fun right here in the heart of Fayetteville, go to Cool Spring on Ice right on Green Street. And it's starting on the 25th, ending on the 27th. And now to our guest who has been chatting with us, but we want to give her a nice formal introduction. Hello. It is Sherris, and she is the co-founder as well as the director, correct? For the Marquis, well, is it for our place or for the Marquis Slam?
For our place is the nonprofit, but the Marquis Slam is under our umbrella. So I kind of help like run the show for that aspect.
She's multitask here, queen, I bet. And she's here to chat with us not only about the Marquis Slam, which is actually happening tonight,
yes.
Guys, at 7 p.m.
The
at
doors
the
open
Arts
at
Council.
7. Yes,
and it's through to 11, right?
Yes. So the doors open at 7. The show starts at 8. We're downtown at the Art Center, 301 Hay Street, right here in downtown Fayetteville. So come on out, enjoy a night of poetry and fun.
Yes, admission is only $10, right?
Yes.
And I have a few questions because I've been seeing and hearing about the Marquis Slam a bit, and I keep trying to get like a full feel of what it is, and now I have you here, so I get to ask you all the questions I want. So, the Marquis Slam is a poetry slam, right?
Yes.
And from what I understand, it's kind of like, is it spoken word or is it based off of spoken word?
Yeah, so it is spoken word. And slam, people are like, well, what's slam versus open mic? So slam is actually more so competition.
Okay.
It is like a 3-round slam that starts with 12 poets, and it's like elimination every round. So you want to, score high. You want to try to make sure that your performance, impress the judges. And the judges are random. It's like 5 random people out of the audience. They score you on the score of 0 to 10. We drop the highest score and the lowest score. So the 3 cumes in the middle, or the 3 scores in the middle, we accumulate, and then the highest ones go each round. So when I say elimination style, like we start with 12 poets, second round will be 8 poets, down to the last round 4 poets. It's usually 4 poets in the last round. And once that's done, we add up all the scores from the 3 rounds, and whoever has the highest score is the winner for the night.
And this happens every second Saturday?
Every first Saturday.
Every first Saturday of the month at the Arts Council. And now I used to write, well, I kind of still do. I've always been fascinated by poetry. I like I want to say the cadence of the words, like how you speak it. Right. And I did do spoken word one time, and my introvert side took over, and I just couldn't,
get through it?
Yeah. I couldn't I finished it, but I didn't. My mind had one way that I wanted it done, and my mouth did something completely different. And I was just so disappointed because I knew it was a good piece, but that introvert part took over, and I just couldn't get past my nerves. So I'm wondering how does someone know that that's something for them? Because I personally don't. I feel after that experience it's not for me.
Well, I feel I think you might need to try again.
No.
Did you score 0?
Mine was not a slam, and that was why I wasn't sure what the slam part was. I have done something similar recently. Honestly, it feels like whenever I write poetry, it comes out in more of a performance style, because I have the way I hear it in my head is one way. So if another person reads it on paper, it doesn't give the same
feel
that I had in my head.
So I always say it's for myself, I think it's better to hear it because you kind of know the tone that the writer is putting in. Obviously I read poetry all the time, and then I kind of put my own little twist in how I would want it to be, but then I also want to hear how the actual poet, right? But I think people know that performing poetry is for them. It's like a rush, honestly. The adrenaline is going, and you just feel so light after the fact. Some people say poetry is therapeutic, and then being able to express, and then it being received well. That's also very
cathartic.
Yeah, it's almost addictive. You know? Yeah, they understand, they feel me. Yeah, and then there are those who just write and don't necessarily perform.
And Ashanti Bennett says it's a really engaging event.
Yes, hey Ashanti.
And the poets are always so talented.
I'm sure.
Thank you. Yes, we have so much talent.
She wouldn't
here
say
in
that
the
if
city.
I went there as well.
I don't know either. I don't know about me. I did listen to your mother. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it used to be obviously it was Mother's, and you would write a piece and then present it, and I think we had 3 minutes. And mine was the only one when we did the rehearsals. They were I think that's more spoken word. Because, I think they wanted it to just be a presentation or a speech.
Right.
And I kind of did it with my cadence or whatever. And it threw them off, I think, a little bit. Because they didn't, but they liked it. But it was just we didn't know you were going to do it like that. And then I was I didn't really know I was going to do it like that until I started reading it.
Right.
And I was trying to say it the way it was in my head.
Exactly. So, and I think a lot of people are well, what's the difference between poetry and spoken word?
That was one of my questions.
Okay. So for me, I think poetry is more so recited, whereas spoken word is performed.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Because you get a lot of people it's all song and dance and
Yeah.
But spoken word is more so the passion, the experience, the emotion of it. And I think that's where a lot of people try to figure out, well, wait, which is it not the same?
Where does my piece fit in?
What really got me was I always thought poetry had to rhyme. And
it doesn't.
Now I found out that it doesn't.
It really doesn't. And it's the way you say it, too. And that's why I think, like I said, when other people read my pieces, it doesn't always have the same impact because the way I heard it in my head, they just read it.
Right.
And so I think that's the difference between maybe poetry and a spoken word piece.
Yeah, I think it's all like they're all in the same genre. You know, it's all they're cousins, like I say. It's just a matter of how it's delivered.
Kissing cousins, right there.
I could never win the poetry slam.
Why not?
Because I am such a ham.
He's got like the Dr. Seuss. The Dr. Seuss rhyming.
But you can rhyme in poetry. It's okay. It's not like
I didn't think you could anymore. I thought now it was kind of that was sort of like passe.
I think you can write however it comes
Yes,
to you.
exactly. It's all creative and it's all how you express your art. So like somebody can say, oh, it has to be like this or this is the way it's supposed to be. That's not what.
And I think that's the thing I love most about words. You can explore them in so many different ways, and you can take things. Ashanti is saying great definition. I know we came to the right person, right, to find all this stuff out. But I think that's the greatest thing I love about words. Even in my normal like creative writing style for my blog or whatever, I can say the same thing in so many different ways just because we have such a massive source of vocabulary and words. And I'm that person who loves to sit there and have like a list of synonyms so I can just change up the beat of what I'm saying a little bit, or you know what I'm saying?
Saying the same thing but not being repetitive.
Exactly. Exactly. And I love that. And as far as the rhyming part, I've had poems where I'll rhyme a couple of words or like kind of like, you know how they do haikus and stuff? Like, literature was my thing in high school. When it was actually like a class. We did literature class. Like,
I don't know what they're doing these kids
I was about to say, I don't know what happened to that, because that was my favorite class in the world.
Yeah.
And she used to have us write haikus or like certain structures, and I used to always play around with it and like say I would have a rhyme every 5 lines or a rhyme, and she was like, my teacher was like, what are you doing? Because I went to an all-girl Catholic school. She was like, can you stick to the script, please? So then I would go home and like play around and do what I wanted to do. So I think that's one of the biggest freedoms you get in poetry is you get
haiku can't rhyme.
Haiku can rhyme, but they have a certain structure and line count and stuff like that.
It's 5, 7, 5. So it's syllables. So 5 syllables is the first set, 7 syllables in the second one, and then 5 in the third. Some people stick to that, the 5, 7, 5. Some people just write it so that it is actually 17 syllables. And again, it's how you express your art and how you want to be creative. In that regard, that's the best thing about art. You can be free. There are no rules. There are, you can just do and express. That's the way we feel about our
sandwiches.
There's no rules to your sandwiches.
You make them an art. Yeah, different stuff you put in them.
Listen, and you all are very artistic.
Just to insert, have you heard of his latest artistic creation?
Yes, I saw it.
The macaroni,
the collard greens, and the is it pulled pork?
Yeah, and then on a brioche bun.
Yeah, I was like,
stamped with a pig on it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They're branded. Our buns are branded with a pig.
That's kind of crazy. But I did do my research on you, Miss Sherris.
On me?
On you.
Yay.
And I'm not going to do the birthday because, I don't know, everybody doesn't like that put out there. But, because I saw your bio, and it says that you secretly began to write poetry because you found rhyme schemes to be fascinating.
Yes.
And my question is, why did you do it in secret?
I also, believe it or not, am very introverted. I turn on in social settings, but I can be by myself and be completely fine. So in the beginning, it was like, well, I don't know if I want people to know. It was very like my own type thing. And then also like when I'm also a helper. And I'm also like very big on like making sure everybody else
is good.
Yeah. So it was like, well, let me not insert myself. I
or draw this attention to me.
Right. I kind of do shy away from like being the focus, which sounds kind of crazy because I kind of am the focus in a lot of things.
Yeah, you had a lot of stuff and you do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that's the weird part of being an introvert. Like you can, like you said, turn on when you need to, and then but you're completely fine being alone in a room by yourself.
Completely fine. It's the best.
Wait, do you see yourself as an introvert or extrovert?
Yes.
Right.
So you're an ambivert. I'm an introverted extrovert.
So you're an ambivert.
Or am I an extroverted introvert?
I don't know. You just confused.
I'm one of those. It looks like Tammy's coming in to send us to a break, but I have to ask you a very serious question before we go to the break, though. Have you ever been to Rocket Fizz?
Yes.
Have you ever seen those little plastic bottles with the little soda in them? They're little colas, the little colas.
Okay.
I don't know. When I was a kid, you know what state those got originated in?
What?
Minnesota. We'll be right back with what's going on in Fayetteville.
That was a good one, though.
I'm like waiting on it. Like,
Never a dull moment. I'm trying to tell you.
Mini soda.
The man is.
oh gosh. And you see how he sets it up? He's like,
Yeah.
ah! And so I'm like, okay.
And
In
he's
my
sitting there
head,
like he did nothing
yeah,
else.
but in my head, I'm going, is this real or is this not real?
Right.
Like, I'm not even sure. He bases it on fact, you know, rocket
Right.
and soda. And I'm like,
Sets it
okay,
up so
Boom.
Are you ready
Damn.
for me?
Oh my god. But yeah, like the listen to your mother thing, it was kind of like spoken word, and that's the only time I actually went all in and like performed it the way I heard it in my head.
Gosh, we're coming back in already.
That was quick.
And
Yeah,
I'll
well,
play it. I'll play it
got
again.
a couple sponsors.
Once you guys close out.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! Stay winning, boss, man, the boss. That was a good one. Yes, it was.
Yes,
Mini
mini soda.
When?
My mom-in-law got it. My
Three,
mom-in-law got it.
2, 1.
Mini soda.
I did not give a dad joke warning on that last one. But I don't like to
well
warn.
placed.
I don't like to warn Tiffany of dad jokes coming up because I love to see it when she doesn't get them. Unfortunately, she got that one. Let's see if I can make a piece of poetry about that. I don't know. A haiku about Tiffany and
not getting that.
not getting it again.
Oh my
I
gosh.
think it's possible, Wade.
I might have to work on that.
Sherris could probably get one real quick. I can't. I just can't. But we were talking about Sherris and how she began writing her poetry in secret. What was the moment that you said, okay, this is not just for me?
So I think originally I did for the most part. I think my junior year in high school we had to do like a junior project, and it had to be like a poetry book. And it had to be like all the different like aspects of poetry. So I think then people were like, "Oh, this is really good," and I was like, "Okay," but I still like would write. I would let people read a few things, but I never really shared. And then one day, I was living in South Carolina, and I was driving to Fayetteville for open mic. It was Lyric Soul Cafe, hosted by Ian Tyson, who is my business partner.
Now.
Yeah, he hosts Marquis Slam.
He hosts
the Marquis Slam. But one night I had been coming up for like maybe a month or two, and I was just coming to listen. And then this particular night, I came in with a notebook, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a poet." And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Okay, so I'm putting you on the list tonight." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, if you find anything in this notebook, I'll perform anything in the notebook." The notebook was empty.
Oh, look at you trying to set somebody
right.
up.
So he handed me a pen and was like, "Well, you got to write something." And I was like, "Oh, no." I was like, "Well, I have some stuff in my phone." So, of course, I pulled my phone out and I performed. And
that was it?
I think that was it, yeah.
That was it.
And I,
You were
I did
bitten
a
by the
few.
bug.
Yeah, it was like, all right, here it is. Da-da, you know?
And so how did you two come together to do... is he also your partner for our place or
Yes.
just for the mark? Okay,
Yes.
so how did you two come together for that?
So the Marquis Slam started in 2012, and there was kind of like a need. There's like a little shift going on. You have different events and like some stuff in. You're looking for venues, and he hit me up on Twitter and was like, "Listen, I found this venue. I want to talk to you about something." He's like, "Meet me here." So I come in. He's like, "What do you think?" I was like, "Oh, it's a nice place." He was like, "I want to do a show here," and I was like, "Okay, sure." And I was like, he's telling me everything that he wanted to do, and he just pretty much asked me to help, and I kind of took over.
So did the Marquis Slam come before our place or vice
It did.
versa?
So
Okay.
the Marquis
I was
Slam,
gonna say that's how it sounds like. It
right?
started
The
first.
Marquis Slam came before.
And just so you guys know, Our Place stands for Passion Lives Creative Experiences, and it's an arts-based Fayetteville nonprofit.
Yes.
And your mission is to provide opportunity, education, funding, and resources to artists to impact society.
Correct.
So the Marquis Slam came first, and then you guys probably saw the need.
Right. So we kind of like, we talked about a lot of things, different things that we wanted to do for the city, for the arts, and just overall, like in life general. And then it came down to like a few conversations, and we both collectively like, well, I want to start a nonprofit. So we started, brainstorming, and Ian actually came up with the name. for the nonprofit. He was just like, I write down words and, you know, I try to like fit them in together. And then like, you know, some of the words actually made a word. So
I love that show.
Yeah. So that's
Did you say made up words?
Made a word.
Made a word. Yeah.
Okay.
Some of the words. So like,
well, I mean, like people. I mean, you know, people make up words and then they eventually become part of the vocabulary.
True.
Yeah, that is,
like we introduced Wade a couple of weeks ago to Woosaw.
Okay.
He had no idea what I was like, I need a Woosaw moment, and he was like, "What is that?"
Right.
And I was like, "Okay, let me try to explain it."
Right. So sometimes in the moment of Zen, I need to just relax and get it together
to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
He's still looking at me. And like I use wonky all the time, and everybody has their own little twist on words.
I mean, Star Wars brought us Wookiee. I mean, nobody knew what a Wookiee was until
True.
Different words are made up. What I find is interesting about this is that, you know, and again, this is part of the premise of this show. Is everybody says, you know, like there's nothing going on in Fayetteville, there's nothing cool in Fayetteville, but you know, this is another part of the arts. This is another venue, another outlet, another just event type thing that is different from other things that you can find. I mean, it's sort of like, you know, a really neat restaurant in the middle of a bunch of fast food. Right. You know, if I can do an analogy there like that, but it's just kind of neat to see that. And the other thing that it does too is I think it helps bring cross-cultural things together, so people can understand each other better. And we need a whole lot more of that going on in our society right now.
Definitely.
But I just think that's what's really kind of cool about it.
Yeah, and I had no idea that it happened every month. I don't know why, for whatever reason, I thought this was like the main thing, and then I don't know. I didn't. And like I was reading into it, and it says that there's actually seasons.
Yes. So each year, we go to competitions. There's regionals and national competitions.
So this isn't like a Fayetteville only type thing. It's not something you guys just. I mean, like you came up with Marquis Slam, but
it's a bigger picture, right? Yeah, we're part of an entity. Puzzle. Yes. Because I mean, all across the country.
Tiles in a mosaic.
There you go. Look at that.
I'm trying to draw in some of my. I'm trying to draw in some of my poetic thoughts.
He outdid me. My puzzle means nothing to his.
Okay. So so we compete. Our season runs from September. Competitions from September to March, and then in April, that final slam picks the actual team that will compete in June and in August. So, regional competition is the Southern Fried Poetry Slam. We've been all over the country with that. Southern Fried Poetry Slam is actually coming to Fayetteville.
And aren't you guys looking for a logo? Did you find one?
Well, we picked today. The submission's in today, and then the group gets together at 1:00, and we'll see everything that was submitted and pick from there. So I'm excited to see what has been sent in. And kind of, go from there.
And Fayetteville is full of creatives, so I know you probably got some amazing submissions.
I hope so. I really hope so. I haven't seen anything yet, but I really hope so.
I can't wait for the reveal of what it's going to be.
What it's going to be, yeah.
It sounds awesome. And
Woodpeckers was taken, so you're going to use fatbacks?
Yeah, we're not going to. We'll skip that. But,
we don't want to infringe.
No stepping on any toes there. No stepping on any toes. But so I know you said that at the end of the season, that's when you get your team together. Yes. And I was reading up on that. I'm a researcher. I like to know a little bit of stuff. So I saw that it said Tyson, basically he coaches them and he helps them with, I guess, how to present once you get to the...
Right. So because it is like a performance aspect in slam competitions, we pretty much as a group come together and practice, go over poems, write poems, things of that nature, and it's pretty much like a critique. Sometimes it could be a little harsh, but it's all meant to be in just to grow, to grow a poet. But at the end of all of it, it definitely was like editing poems and going over writing and going over performance aspects of it. It just helps to have some cohesion.
That's what I was going to ask. That was my next question. As a team, do your pieces have to somewhat sync in with each other, or is it fine that they have different topics?
They can all have different topics. Some people like to write, to each other, and write group pieces, and that is also another way to like collaborate with other poets. But like things that are important to you and how you express what you're dealing with in poetry aren't necessarily the same things that I express in poetry. Now, there are some times where like we have written on the same subject, but different perspectives of that subject. So for me, I think the best thing when you're forming a team is that everybody brings a different dynamic and not necessarily the same sound.
Okay, so we have like 1 minute left, so I just want to get the emphasis on tonight, January 5th.
Yes.
Starting at 7
o'clock.
Ending at 11. Arts Council, 301 Hay Street, and it's going to feature Harlem's own Joan Lyric Leslie.
Yeah, she is so dope, y'all.
And she lives in Atlanta, Georgia, but she is known for her works about self-discovery, self-love, and she actually throws a little bit of humor and wit in there.
Yes.
And she has a book called My Blackness Rhymes with Joy. That sounds amazing.
Yes.
And so she's going to be the featured poet.
Right.
The evening.
So she'll perform. She'll perform and do her set prior to the slam.
Okay.
So she kind of like gets everybody's palate wet and ready for the actual.
For what's gonna happen. And again, admission is $10.
Yes.
And did I see food?
Yes. So we do. We do have.
I'm sorry. I always see food.
Food.
Yes, we do have food for purchase. It is catered in, so you can come in. Like we really try to make it like a dinner and a show type feel. Cool. So you can come in, get you something to eat, enjoy the show, just have a good time.
And again, even after today, this happens every first
Saturday
at the Arts Council.
Yes, 301 Hay Street in downtown Fayetteville. The doors open at 7 o'clock and the show starts at 8.
So go check that out, the Marquis Slam. If you want more details or more information, you guys have a website, correct?
Yes, you can go to www.welcome2ourplace.org.
And you're on Instagram as the Marquis Slam.
As the_Marquis_Slam. We're on Facebook as the Marquis Slam and on Facebook as Our Place. And if you want to learn more about poetry in Fayetteville, there is a page on Fayetteville that's titled Poetry in Fayetteville. You hear about all the events that go on, not just mine. There's a lot of poetry and spoken word in the city. Yes.
I'm gonna have to look
so
into
Poetry in Fayetteville is a page on Facebook as well, and of course Our Place, the Marquis Slam. Yeah.
And I'll leave details in the video that I'm streaming now on the page. I'll leave those there too. So thank you so much, Sherris, for coming with us.
Thank you for having me.
So and thank you for letting us tell people when they tell us there's nothing to do in Fayetteville. You don't know what you're talking about, folks, because there's always something good going on. Thanks to our friends at Home Security for helping us have this show on the air.
Yay.
And thank you guys for listening. Thanks for everybody that was watching and leaving comments and enjoying my humor. And you've been listening to what's going on here in Fayetteville on the We Do Radio Network. We'll be back next Saturday at 9 o'clock.
Thank you all so very much.
You came in, I was like, it's 9:29
already. Oh, man.
Where's the time going?
Seriously.
I just remember growing up and reading Ogden Nash. I had a whole book of poetry, and my favorite was Ogden Nash. And then I like the humorous poetry. Limericks, Shel Silverstein with his Silverstein. Have you ever heard of Shel Silverstein with his limericks and stuff? I love limericks. I think they're funny.
Yeah,
that's probably links into the whole dad joke thing.
Don't get him.
I just think like poetry.
Come on, though. Come on, Minnesota. Come on.
That was good.
And somebody really liked it. Did you see that? Okay, thanks for humoring me. I really needed a laugh today.
That's my mom-in-law. That was my mother-in-law. Thanks, guys, for watching. Like, we're still talking. She said she enjoyed the show. She's actually all the way in the Bronx.
All right. Yes, thank you for
Boogie down.
Boogie down. It's the Bronx, not
you know what? I couldn't live there. You know why?
Why?
I have bronchitis.
Like bronchitis? Okay.
Bronx, yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.